edition of Morning Market Call. I'm your host, Todd Castagna. With me today, we're very lucky to have two of the finest students at BYU, Megan Halverson and McKelle Coleman. Ladies, thank you for being on the show.
Thanks for having us, Todd.
Anytime. Now, just so that the viewers know, Megan is a senior here at BYU and is studying economics, and McKelle is a senior in accounting. Both will be graduating this coming April. Both have many very exciting career opportunities. But what I want to talk with you most about on this show is your experience over the summer at where you interned at Credit Suisse, and learn a little bit more about how it's been as women in the business program here at BYU. So I'll start with you, McKelle. McKelle, you interned at Credit Suisse in the investment banking division in the technology group. I've heard some crazy things about investment banking. I've experienced some of them. I want to know from you for sure, are the rumors true? Are the hours true? Were you really working those type of days? And how was it working there day in and day out?
So the hours are definitely a reality of the job, but I was really interested in what I was doing, so time actually seemed to fly by. I know that sounds kind of cliche, but it's really true. When you're working on something that you're passionate about, it goes by really quickly. Mm-hmm. And if you just take the day kind of in chunks, it goes by more quickly than you would think.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I experienced that as well, where you'd be starting a project at 3 p.m. and next time you look at the clock it's 7 p.m.
Yep.
and you're like 4 hours have gone by, but you made some progress, and it feels good though to work that many hours. Megan, you also were involved with those crazy hours. Yep. As a banker. Yep. How were you able to deal with them? How was it in your group?
Same thing, you know, you get in at 8 o'clock, you leave at 2 o'clock in the morning. I mean, sometimes it was rough just being tired and things like that, trying to do things to keep yourself awake, but overall, I agree with McKelle, it went by fast.
So you're really getting out at like 2 in the morning? I mean, you get out at 2 in the morning, what do? You take a cab home and then you just come back early the next morning? I mean, is that how it is?
It's literally like you go home, you go to sleep, you wake up, you go to work, you go home, you go to sleep, you wake up, you go to work.
How do you keep your sanity? I mean, what are the tricks to keeping your sanity when you're working that many hours?
I think something that was important to me was making sure that I had a little bit of time during the day to exercise. Mm-hmm. My group was really good about letting us go down to the gym, which was in the building, and that really helped me get through the days. Even just like 15 minutes of that was really beneficial. And just having a strong bond with the people that you're working with, just being really lighthearted and having fun, because if you're miserable at 3 in the morning, then everybody else is going to be too. So just keeping a good attitude. Keeping
a good attitude is tough. Megan, did you kind of find it to be similar like that? Did you have like any tricks to leave the desk and maybe get your sanity back?
Me and McKelle, we went out and got food, and there's actually a park right outside the bank, which is we spent not a lot of time, but as much time as we could out there.
As you're allowed to.
So that was a couple of our tricks.
Awesome. It sounds like you guys actually had a lot of fun with all those hours, which is pretty remarkable. It's not an easy thing to do. A lot of people would have no interest in doing it. A lot of people couldn't handle it once they did do it. I was actually there, so I was very impressed by the way both of you handled yourselves, and the jobs you did was very impressive. McKelle, I want to ask you specifically, kind of switching gears here a little bit. So you're in the accounting program in the Marriott School. How did the Marriott School prepare you for your success this summer?
So I was actually really nervous going into my internship because I knew that my peers would be the best of the best and that they would be coming from these Ivy League schools. And I was nervous trying to think about how I was going to stack up and whether I was going to be able to perform as well as they would be able to. But from my experience this summer, I learned that I can compete with any of those students that are also coming from other schools, and I attribute all of that, all of my preparation and ability to perform to my preparation from the Marriott School, and I'm really, really grateful that I went to school here.
That's fantastic. Megan, have you found it similar? Just so everybody knows, you're an economics major and a strategy minor, so you have exposure to the economics department and to the Marriott School also. Did you find that you were also helped a lot in preparing you for your summer internship?
Definitely. I feel like just because the nature of my background, I wasn't exposed to kind of the accounting and the finance like some of these students were, but they gave you, extra training courses to bring you up to speed, and so they teach you everything you need to know. I mean, you just have to do your work, and the Marriott School really helps push you and make sure you're ready for that.
Absolutely, I totally agree with that. Megan, coming right back to you. You both are very talented women in that are both seniors here at BYU. There may have been extra obstacles with that, being women and predominantly, well, in male-dominated majors, right? I was an economics major. There were some women in the program who were fantastic, not very many, and it's the same way in the Marriott School, in the business programs. I'm just wondering, to those women who are interested in business, what advice would you give? What advice would you give to them? Maybe the girls who are a couple years younger than you who are thinking about doing this. What advice would you give them?
I would just say, I mean, if you really like it, you should do it, because I have found that I really like, in my classes, I'll come out of class and I'll just, I really enjoy it. And when I'm doing my homework, it's not like, sometimes it's very hard, but at the end of the day, I really enjoy it. But just, if you like it, definitely do it, and you're going to do your best, and you're going to be happy doing it, so don't be intimidated.
Awesome. Even, McKelle, do you agree? Even like Econ 110 and Accounting 210 and those tough classes?
Yeah, I want all the girls to know that they can do it and not to let anyone convince them otherwise, because the whole program is designed to help you succeed, and the professors, from my experience, have been so willing to help and go out of their way to help you be successful. And I just want to see more women in the Marriott School, because we've had amazing experiences, and I would love to see more women have the opportunity as well.
Yeah, it sounds like it's been a great experience. I'm actually really glad to hear that you've had such a fantastic experience, because you never know how different people are going to think. But I've actually found the opinions to be pretty close to yours, and that's fantastic. Girls, thank you so much for being on the show today. In closing, I'm just really curious who you found to be the most talented and maybe the coolest summer associate that you worked with at Credit Suisse this summer?
Well,
it's really hard.
I definitely have to go with you.
Done.
Yep, you heard it right here on this show. I actually teed them up for that. I don't know if it's what they really think. But thanks, girls. I really appreciate it. Thanks for being on the show. And thank you for watching Morning Market Call. You can visit us on morningmarketcall.org to see this episode and any other episodes you may be interested in. Again, thank you for being with us, and we'll see you soon.
MMC is brought to you by the Marriott School of Management in association with the Brigham Young University Department of Communications. MMC is made possible by a generous donation from Larry Tasjan and Gary Williams, and is produced by Rhett Weller, Todd Castagna, Mason Chen, Joel Toby, and Sabrina Beck, with line producing by Beth and Brian Grimmett. For more information, find us on Twitter or at morningmarketcall.org.